Hi everyone, it is Polar's Lights and Signals here. So today I have driven out to a parking lot a little bit out of town, but it has three M1000s, and I wanted to record these because they're all original Mercury Vapor, and it is almost the end of 2021, and it's just so cool. I came here one time at night and I want to re-record these to show you guys, but they're really cool, and it's just a lot of the 1000 watt Mercury Vapor stuff is very rare nowadays and hard to find, and to see original Mercury Vapor streetlights still in service is super cool. So I want to record this for everyone just because it's really awesome, and I think a lot of you guys who collect streetlights and are actually looking for these M1000s or other Mercury Vapor 1000 watt lights, I think we'll really get a kick out of this. So yeah. All right, so here is the parking lot. Now these M1000s are the last generation versions. They are the step door versions, and they are actually just like mine. They have photocell sockets on top of them, and surprisingly, a lot of the ones I've seen actually on DT territory here up in Detroit actually don't have photocell sockets. A lot of their stuff is on a separate control, but for some reason these are photocelled equipped. But if you do notice, however, they have shorting caps on them. There's a light control right here, and this light control controls all three of these M1000s here, and then there's that other one right here. Yeah, they're all step doors. They're all exactly the same, and they have them on these really high quality. I forget who they're made by, but they're made here in Michigan. These really high quality Michigan brand arms. These M1000s on DT territory will only ever be seen on these arms. I've never seen them on any other kind of arm. They always use these arms, but they're so cool. I want to hang out here for a bit and record these just warming up. So yeah, they're cool. Yeah, now it's almost dusk. Now these M1000s here are really in good condition, and they all work very well, and obviously they do, because these are the last versions of these that they ever made. Now mine is a 1989, and General Electric discontinued the M1000 line, I think, in 1990. So the one I have, I do have a video of it on my channel, so please go check it out if you haven't seen it yet. But the ones here, I don't know what these the dates are, but there are a couple that are actually from the early 80s that are around Detroit. But yeah, I have actually one of the last versions, so it's pretty cool. These could be the last versions since they have the photocells. Yeah, this little light control here controls all three of these M1000s. And funny enough, actually, and this is something people make, these engineers and designers make this mistake very commonly, actually, throughout, systems in the country. But this light control here, I don't think this relay is rated for over 1000 watts, and these are all 1X, so you got 3000 watts going through that control box, and that photocell up there, which I'm going to drive around actually. Those photocells, I've never seen a photocell that can handle over 1000 watts. That's usually the maximum amount. Let me see what kind of photocell that is real quick. Yep, that's what I thought. Okay, I can see the photocell. I don't know if you guys can read what the box says. I'll have to look at it on the video when I edit it. But that photocell up there is a Suntech. It's just a standard low profile photocell, and it's not rated for over, it's only rated up to 1000 watts. And you got 1, 2, 3 1000 watt Mercury Vapor lights here. So that photocell actually right now is being overloaded. Well, not right now because it's not on, but it's being overloaded. So eventually what will happen is that photocell will burn up and these will just day burn. But yeah, as for the control relay, I don't know what the maximum wattage is on that thing, but I do have one of these boxes. I'd have to take a look at it, but I think that is also rated up to 1000 watts as well. So yeah, they got this control extremely overloaded. Real quick, we'll look at some of the other ones. It's gonna start getting dark here, so I'm gonna have to position myself There's another one. They're all the same. They're all step doors. This one has the shorting cap on it. The X1 stickers on them are pretty faded, I think, yeah. So knowing that, because the one I got had a pretty nice X1 sticker, these are probably the early 80s versions, some of the first step doors. You can see that Mercury lamp in there, it's pretty nice. Now, for some reason, I don't know if I'm just seeing things, but this one does not have a photocell socket. It looks like it's blank on the top, but I can't really 100% tell. But yeah, they're all in really good condition, and this is a very rare circumstance where these are still in service. Now, these are owned by DT, but they are customer-owned streetlights. Everything here in this town has been upgraded to LED, but these are customer-owned lights, and as of right now, DT does not replace customer-owned streetlights unless it's requested. And of course, when it is requested, they will choose the streetlight of their choosing to install back up. But yeah, I guess the customer here, it's in a church. These have not been requested to be changed, and probably because they work so well. So it's really cool to still see these M1000s here. A lot of the ones that are still around currently are in the ghetto parts of Detroit, and they don't work. They're all disconnected, but they are, there. But there's very few of them around. So yeah, I guess I'll just sit here and wait until this starts up. But yeah, these are customer-owned lights until I guess someone requests that these get swapped out. They're here, so this place is basically paying for these lights. But yeah, hopefully they won't day burn anytime soon, because I think the second that control starts day burning, they're gonna see the problem, and then they're gonna be like, oh, these lights are gonna have to be replaced, they're using too much power. But when they do, hopefully I can try to be here for that. So yeah, so I'm kind of just winging it right now. I really don't know when they're gonna come on, but I'm gonna keep my camera on this one right in the middle here. And that's another reason why I want to record these. The fact that these are Mercury Vapor, they're all phosphor coated, obviously. They don't make clear lamps anymore. I do have some clear Mercury lamps, but they're not from the US. But it's just, they still are cool at night. Mercury Vapor is just becoming so obscure now, and HPS, even back then, just took over most of it, and it's just anything Mercury Vapor is starting to become really, really rare, even if it's a common basic fixture. So, and 1000 watt stuff is one of those wattages where it's so hard to find anything original Mercury. It's so hard to find that stuff in original Mercury Vapor. So it's cool that this parking lot still has some Mercury Vapor lights here. Yeah, I'd say 250 and 1000 watts probably the more rare wattages, and probably 100 watts too. 175 is pretty common. There's nothing 100 watt Mercury. There are no 100 watt Mercury Vapor lamps in Detroit, as far as I know of. It's all 175 or 250 here and there. Be interesting to hear that relay kick on, since it's a light control. It's probably gonna slam shut. That relay has a magnet in it, so when it kicks on, it makes a loud clunk. It'll probably clunk really loudly. Now, all these M1000s do have a pretty loud buzz. They're not super noisy. As far as I know, the very first versions of these actually had 2 capacitors in them, but mine has 1 capacitor, and that's just when the technology was just like perfect for this stuff. Mine only has 1 capacitor, but I've gotten a couple up here that have had 2 capacitors, and I don't have them now. I've given them away, but some of these older ones have 2 capacitors. It'll have a little one, and then it'll have a standard size one. I don't know what the UF ratings or any of that is off the top of my head, but yeah. What if the control box is dead? It's like they'll never come on. Wow. You can kind of hear it kick on. That control box was pretty quiet. Look at them start up. I'm gonna turn away for a sec from that one. We're all starting up. This lovely M1000s. They all have a lovely hum. Wow, they're cool. I don't even want to keep the camera on one. I just want to position it to the other ones. Look at them all starting up. All 1000 watts Mercury Vapor. Just starting up. They're cool. This is like a sight to behold. You'll never see this anywhere else. They're all vibrating a little bit, sounds like. Yeah, they're not too bright right now. I can look at all of them. So cool. Yeah, they're getting a little brighter. They're kind of slow to start up. I will say that this one over here is doing a much better job. If it can focus, what's going on here? My cam. That one right there is doing a lot better. It's starting up. It's the brightest one so far. This one I'd say is the second to brightest to start up, and then that one's the more dim one. That one's a little slower. Wow, that's cool. Yeah, that one over here is like really bright. Really nice. Here, I'm gonna drive around for a sec. Look at how bright that one is. You can hear it humming. I don't know why the camera don't want to focus right now. Super, super cool. I love this a lot. They are very bright. And this one right here. Let's listen to this one real quick. That one has some vibration going on. Huh, that one might be failing. It sounds really bright. Let me get out of the car real quick. I'm gonna get out real quick. That one has a lot of buzz to it. It's not really loud, but it's very buzzy and vibraty. Hope it's doing okay. Hopefully that cap is not failing. Now, these M1000s, I will say, since these are some of the last versions, they do have the more modern cap technology. Now, one reason why you don't see a lot of these around still, especially in 1000 watts Mercury Vapor, is because the old ones from the 60s and some of them from the 70s, the caps back then used a PVC oil, and a lot of times those caps would fail to a short because the oil would either dry up, I guess, or something, or they could leak. I know sometimes if they were off for too long and they weren't, they didn't have any resistors going between the two terminals on the cap, so if they were off for too long, the electric charge would sit in the capacitors and basically would eat away at the insides, destroying them. So the capacitor technology back then wasn't good, and what would happen is all that damage would fail the caps to a short, and then these lights would basically continue to run with failed caps, and the transformer would continuously draw power, more and more power, and thus heating it up. And then essentially what would happen is it would draw so much power to the point where it would burn up the transformer and smoke it. So these ones are still in good condition and lit like they are, not just because they're newer, but these have newer capacitor technology. The one I have is one of the new protected capacitors, and it happens pretty rarely, but they can fail to a short. And the light will do the same thing, and it can draw too much current and fry the transformer. But most times when these caps fail, this light's a lot quieter now, by the way. It's not making as much noise. What will happen is when the caps start to fail, the oil will just dry up, and the capacitors just they just don't put out as much current, so the lamps become very dim. And that usually is very present in metal halide fixtures, and it can happen with HPS ones as well. And Mercury, it does the same. So it'll basically just, the caps won't work as well, and the lights will be a lot dimmer. But then of course they can fail to a point of open current, so they don't fail to a short. They basically fail to an open leg, and basically the caps just completely disconnect and the light won't even function. So wow, look at the light it gives off too. I'm gonna pause the camera for a bit and come back when it's pitch black out, and you guys just got to see it. They're all at full brightness now. They're just, this parking lot, whoever actually set this parking lot up actually did a good job. These light the parking lot appropriately, and it's just, they're really cool. So let's wait until it gets a little darker and see how they look. Alright, it's been a little bit now, and it is like pretty much almost completely pitch black out. This M1000 is so pretty. I think it's definitely prettier in the dark. It's kind of like how you have to watch fireworks at night. It's really doing its job. All this light here is coming from this one M1000. It is super freaking cool. Same with all the light right here. It's all coming from these M1000s. I'll drive around. I'll show you what I mean. These things really are cool. Here, there's the other one. My camera is having a very hard time focusing for some stinking reason. I'm gonna make a little figure 8 here. There's all the M1000s in one shot. Look at all the light this thing gives off. Just this one M1000 Mercury Vapor gives off all this light. I mean, actually, like, I'm pointing the camera. See all this light hitting me? That is this one right here. Very cool and very bright. Very amazing. It's just, and it's good light. It's a soft, clean, oh, let me put my window down, white light. It's just nothing, there's nothing better. Imagine if these were like 1000 watts HPS, how orange everything would look. I could probably put a video effect up right now, just, you know, kind of imitate what an HPS light would look like. Actually, here's kind of a, look at that. See those HPS lights over there? See how orange all that is? I mean, what do you think is better right now? That or this 1000 watt Mercury light that's giving off all this wonderful white light? It is so pretty. All the gaskets coming off that one too. It's just, it's wonderful. There's just nothing else like it. I drive around again. This is the only place that you'll ever find 1000 watts Mercury Vapor in service like this. It is so pretty. Most of the customer-owned lights here on DT are either Cooper OBZ HPS lights or you know, smaller Mercury lights like area lights or bucket lights. Sometimes there's some Cooper OBZ Mercuries too, or OBXs. There's 400 watt OBXs that are HPS or Mercury, and they're just not as cool as this. And a lot of those Mercury Vapor Cooper OBXs, they're so shitty. Or sorry, they're so crappy and low quality. I mean, these are very nice. Just all this wonderful light. There is a parking lot that actually has some 1000 watt 327s, and they're some of the last versions. They're HPS ones. They were actually putting them up until they discontinued them. But there's a parking lot. I should go record that sometime and just do a comparison. I mean, this is so wonderful. So it really is cool. There's just nothing like this. I'm gonna park and walk for a minute. I'm gonna come walk around for a minute and just kind of look at them, but I'm gonna go ahead and conclude this video. Very, very beautiful. They're wonderful lights. I mean, I don't think there's any other place in the country where there's a setup like this with all this Mercury Vapor, but they're very bright, they're in very good condition, and even though they're not the old M1000s or any other older Mercury Vapor 1000 watt light, these newer ones, like I said, are Mercury Vapor and 1000 watts, and they pretty much, you know, it's like looking at the same thing. It's almost like it takes you back in time, seeing these really cool lights. But yeah, here's that other one. I'm gonna go ahead and end the video now. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this little adventure through time, I guess. This little time capsule, you could say, that's still here. If you guys haven't seen any of my other videos or are new to this channel, please add a like down below, as it helps my channel grow and it encourages me to do more content. And please feel free to leave a comment down below about what you think of these, and yeah. Anyway, happy collecting, everyone. Be safe, and Christmas is coming up soon, so Merry Christmas to all of you. Bye. So here's a perfect little outro to my video. That's a 1960s M400, and it is working really well. It's on a remote photocell socket. That is a 120 240 volt light, and I know that because I've seen these get thrown away. Yeah, really cool.